Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Married at First Sight All-Star Panel. We're here for season 15 of Married at First Sight. Wanted to wait until all the marriages have happened before we come in and discuss these five couples from Married at First Sight. It's great to be back with you guys. It was a good break. Still wish that Married at First Sight would speed these marriages along and not take about a month to get through them. But it took about a month. But nonetheless, we're here for it now for the long haul for the remaining season of Married at First Sight. So let's get this thing started. We're here with August Love Story. And right now we have Artieka. How are you doing today, Artieka?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing wonderful.
Let's say my other half will appear here at some point.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Well, let's get into the couples. We know that they have five couples on here on Married at First Sight. For those who have not watched the season thus far, the five couples that they have on Married at First Sight this season. You have Stacia and Nate. You have Mitch and Christine.
No.
Christine.
Mitch and Kirsten.
Kristen, sorry, Kristen. I want to call you girl Christine. Mitch and Kristen. You have Miguel and Lindy.
Mm-hmm.
You have already hit Mitch. You have
Alexis and Justin.
Yeah, Alexis and Justin.
Uh-huh.
And which one did I miss?
Ben and Morgan.
Ben and Morgan. They're not important. They're not important right now. They just got married. So
Ben
Chin. But let's get started with this couple here. One of the couples that most people we'll start with Ben and Morgan because we've seen the least of them right now so far in this episode of this season. Question I have for you, Artieka, and what you've seen so far about Ben and Morgan. Morgan seems too independent, if that's a such thing. Can you be too independent in a relationship that it works? That it won't work? Because she didn't want anybody walking down the aisle. She wanted to do nothing. So to me, it's like...
I don't think you can be too independent, but I do think that he's too dependent on his mom for her independence because he needs to run everything by his mom. Like, even with the wedding, he was like, if you don't like her, we can talk about it. And I'm like, talk about what? You can't talk about the fact that you don't like this lady because your opinion don't really matter there. But I don't think that she's too independent for a relationship. I think that she's too independent for a controlling relationship. But a relationship in general, I think she'd be okay in.
Yeah, because, running everything past your mom and all those, I understand you have mama boys. What she said, she liked the fact that he was a mama's boy, that she's a mama's girl, but I don't think she really understands how that could be a problem in their relationship, how that could be a problem in their relationship, how that could be some trouble situation down the road. One thing that set me wrong with Morgan was when she said, I don't need anybody to walk me down. I won't give away myself, and I'm going to do this myself, and I don't want to talk to my dad. I'm sitting here like, man, is this a sign to come that she can be so controlling to a guy who's kind of even keeled, right? He's very frugal, right? He don't like to frugal, right? He don't like to spend any money. Doesn't like spending any money. He's real thrifty. And so looking at him and looking at her, and I'm sitting here like, man, these two look like they're gonna bump heads just a little bit over him trying to control the money situation. Her used to getting everything she want. And I thought about I thought about Mirla and what's the guy's dude's name? Gil. Mirla and Gil a little bit. How Mirla was really controlling in certain areas. She might be just a little too much for him. Just a little too much. Jack?
I don't know. I guess for me, like, I'm a traditionalist when I think about weddings. So I think, that nobody's giving me away. I'm giving myself away. She could have let her mom walk her down the aisle. You know what I mean? Because the symbolism in that is, you're going from one family to the next, and they're not giving you, like, passing you off. But, I understand what she was saying. I think she might be too much for him because he does seem kind of laid back. And I agree. I don't think she's ready for the kind of mama's boy that he probably is.
Nah, you ain't got to check in with your mom for everything.
Nah.
That's why I tell you to leave your parents a little bit. I think mom wants babies right away, right? They see like we Asian, we want babies right away. I'm sorry, I have an issue with it. We're just meeting each other. We only got 8 weeks to make a decision. Babies are probably the last discussion I would have.
I think the only thing that I would want kids. Like, that's a valid question, but like, let's get started on them. Nah, I don't know you. And I mean, it's not to say I'm not ready to get to know you, but I don't know you to be like, yeah, we have to start having kids soon. We don't know each other.
Yeah, definitely that. That's the thing, Key. But also, I think the issue they may have too, maybe a money issue. Mm-hmm. He doesn't like to spend anything. I think his friend, who like, I think when they talked about some of the pre-shows, was like, oh yeah, for her birthday, I'm gonna buy her some stock. I know everybody likes stock, and stock is a good thing, but to buy your wife or somebody some stock for their birthday, I don't think it's gonna fly too well. You might want to get somebody a ring, you might want to get somebody some jewelry, some flowers, maybe a trip or something like that. But stock, nah, bruh. And him not want to spend some money or spend that time, and maybe an issue. Maybe an issue with them. But like I said, Ben has a lot of other issues too. He's too close. His group of friends are real close. They're real tight. And I don't think he's gonna let Morgan in.
Well, we'll get to that later, but he's not as tight with his friends as so one of the other grooms, but yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Tommy, what's going on, brother?
Man, I'm just here, man. I'm making it. I am making it. What was we talking about?
Morgan
and Ben.
If she's too independent for him.
She is.
You think so?
Yeah, because he's too dependent on his mama.
That's exactly what he
said. And like that's gonna get in the way. And she's like, how does she break that that barrier, right? Because I mean, like she essentially has to replace his mom and and pull up into that role in his life. And how does that happen successfully? Even like we saw the little glimpse of if his mama don't approve, they'll talk about it. Like, what are y'all talking about? So yeah, she's gonna be. I think that's where the problem is gonna lie, and then her being so on her own and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think that they're gonna have a big issue there. We finally get to see. We saw their wedding. We saw them interact with one another. I think somebody put in the comment that I think she may take the male role in this relationship. I know people don't like to identify roles, but I think she may take the lead in the relationship, and he might just fall in. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's gonna try to buck the system. I think whatever she says or whatever he does, she asks him to do. I think he's gonna try to do it. One, because he feels bad about the COVID situation, right? And they had to get married a little bit late, and he's gonna be trying to feel like he has to play catch up or make up to her. And two, she's just gonna be that. I'm not gonna say she's Lindsay from last season, but she's gonna be very independent and very someone said masculine. She is.
Yeah, I agree.
She's a little bit masculine, so she will take. I think she will take on a masculine role in this relationship, and Ben will kind of fall back. Mm-hmm. And so she may fall back here. Anything else you guys on Ben and Morgan? Not too much with them. We haven't seen too much or really dug deep into them.
Yeah, I was gonna say he really don't have a choice but to fall back because she said she could beat him up.
And so, I believe her.
I do too. She said that with like confidence. Like, yeah, I can take you out right now. All right. Whatever you say, Chief. Oh man, but no, that's all. I didn't have much for them just because of how far like the COVID situation and how far ahead everybody else is of them.
I forgot about that part. She did say I would take you out though. She did like, yo, I can beat you up. And yeah, he's scared. He was like Muay Thai. What's that? You're like, what is that? Isn't that like wrestling and fighting judo type? She's like, nah, this is what it is. I kick, I punch, and yeah. He's like, yeah, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, when she like no floor action. So no like wrestling on the floor. I can put you down on the ground.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna wrestle or tussle on the ground.
She might outlift him in the gym. She might outlift him when they get the race.
I don't know.
Oh man. Well, let's move on to this couple, man. Mitch and Kirsten.
Kristen.
Mitch and Kristen.
Is she that unmemorable? That
she is. I keep forgetting the name. I'm sorry. She's really, because Mitch is the highlight of that relationship anyway.
Oh my God.
Mitch is the star of that relationship. She's not, as of right now. But August Love Story, your thoughts on Mitch and Kirsten?
One of our subscribers actually put this in the comments today, and I wholeheartedly agree. Mitch should have been on Unmatchables instead of actually on Married at First Sight. Mitch is just, he's too particular about a lot of things that I'm just like, can we get over this? Like, I don't want to see her all dressed up. It's a wedding. Like, people dress up for weddings.
That was stupid.
Well, he's like, she's wearing a lot of makeup. Again, wedding kind of happens. Like, I'm a person who does not wear makeup, and I had a lot of makeup on my wedding day. A lot for me. But it's just like, I don't get what he's looking for in that regard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mitch is gonna Mitch this up. He's like, because he's so eco-friendly, and she doesn't like. I mean, like she said, I recycle. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna take it to the extreme to where it imposes on her regular day life, and that's always gonna be a negative. Like, I watched the after party, and they had a preview of them, and she was like, "Yo, I want some D," and he's like, "No, I'm not there yet." What do you mean, bro? Like, you've been sitting out here, like, not getting any for a year and a half. Now you have a license to get some, and you're like, "No." Like, bro. Like,
and then he was like, that year and a half wasn't for lack of trying.
Right.
It was just like nobody wanted it.
So it then start getting into the idea of, do you like your wife? Do you find her to be attractive? Like, what's going on there? Because my wife can't tell me she's sexually frustrated and we don't leave immediately. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if that's the issue, that you're not like really attracted to her, hey, be upfront and tell her. You know, so it's not a sense of you're leading her on in any type of way, because we've seen that before. You know, somebody's trying, but never told them they wasn't attracted to this person. But yeah, I think he's just gonna mess it up. The simple thing from the poppers, not wanting to do the poppers because he didn't, you know, I was like, good grief, man, it's a popper. Pop it in the area, put a trash bag down, do whatever, but celebrate. Like, I feel like you still have to live life in certain, like, you take vegetarians and vegans, and is that the same thing? No. Okay. Take people who don't eat meat, right?
That's a vegetarian.
Right. They find alternatives, and still, you know, they don't down the party because somebody else eats meat. You know, they still enjoy themselves. They still allow you to be around meat and everything like that. So you just make that accommodation for a person. But like, I was like, man, it's a t-shirt. He didn't want to wear the t-shirt. I was like, good grief, man, it's a t-shirt. It says hubby, what you are. Like, that's crazy. But I think he's just gonna Mitch it up. So Mitch is gonna Mitch.
Tommy, that's where I was. The poppers thing blew me, and the shirt. I was like, the shirt, you ain't gonna put the shirt on. Well, I'll wear it because you're wearing yours, but otherwise, you know, if it's not organic and vegan friendly, I'm not putting no shirt on. Because I'm like, bruh, come on, it's too much. It's too much. And then, like Artieka said, I want to see her in her natural. I was like, I think I said this in our review, and even she got done up some. I said, did he want her to come down the aisle like Amelia with a bird's nest in her hair and, you know, buckwheat under her arm and hair in her armpits? Like, I was like, nobody's gonna do that for their wedding. And that's why I said even Amelia was done up a little bit, you know, for her. No, what? He said he couldn't wait for her to take that stuff off to get undone up. I'm like, and I'm gonna say this. Say what you want. I'm thinking for Mitch not to be attracted to her, sir, you are not on that. You've been celibate not by choice, but by force for a year and a half. Beggars can't be choosers. They can't be. He was like, maybe, you know, I'm hoping the attraction will grow. You know, she's not my regular type. I'm like, so the fact that you thought her mom was your bride, do you like cougars? I'm trying to understand.
But you know he does. You got to realize that's something I thought about too.
And nothing wrong with that if somebody likes cougars.
Nothing wrong with that, but you got to realize there's a 9-year gap between these two.
Yeah.
And no one's talking about that. There's a 9-year gap between Mitch and Kirsten. And that gap may be a difference. That's why he looked at mom like, oh, this is who I want to be with, or this is who you want me to be with. Okay. Which, first of all, that was stupid anyway, right? Who do you see come down the aisle? He must not have been to a lot of weddings. Who comes to the aisle down the aisle in a red dress with their purse on their shoulder? I've been
not the bride.
Not the bride, right? The bride doesn't come with the purse on her shoulder, and nor did she walk with anybody down the aisle. So again, he was thinking, like, bro, what kind of wedding did you been? What kind of weddings you been to that you didn't know that this wasn't your bride, right? That's the first red flag. Second red flag is, yo, bro tripped on his friends over a bit on the barber over a shave and a haircut. Bruh, you tripping on your friends because they try to make you look good for this girl that you have not seen. You don't know what she likes, and you tripping because you like the beard. You might well let the professional be the professional, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. And then when bro he quiet about his celibacy, we'll get on the celibacy whole thing later when we talk about Justin. But Mitch over there, see, Mitch is a different. Mitch he was trying, but he couldn't get none. So he had to go on Marriage at First Sight just in order to get somebody, right? It's a problem when he's I've been trying. Well, nobody likes your attitude. Nobody wants to go on a date where you pick up trash, right? Nobody wants to go on you taking her out on an electric bike, right? You don't even understand if you got a Tesla and all that, but you got the e-bike, right? They say you walk everywhere. Nobody wants to surf every day, right? So I mean, you got to be able to do some things in a relationship. And his whole family said it, like, yo, he could be a big of a problem. His brother was like, yo, you take him now, right? You take Mitch. You shoot. You don't even want him no more, right? And so that's the problem, because everybody knows Mitch has an attitude. He reminds me so much of AJ from the Philadelphia season of Married at First Sight.
He was such a jerk.
He was a jerk. You know, we say it all the time. If somebody says, some people walk around and say, yo, I ain't trying to be a jerk. Guess what you are?
A jerk.
You're a jerk. If you keep telling people, I ain't trying to be a jerk, or you're a jerk, right? And then when she even when they got into bed that night, he was like, oh, she took her makeup off. He's like, oh, there you go. That's what I like, or something to that nature. You're like, you know, understand you want natural beauty. That's fine, right? But still be respectful with the natural beauty. Don't be so much a prick when you talk about it. He's gonna have to change his tone. The way he speaks and the way he talk and deal with her is gonna be really different. I see them bumping heads a lot just because of the fact of the way he speaks.
Mm-hmm. But and we're gonna get off of them because we agree to Mitch is a Mitch.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing. The sister-in-law said it. She said, you know, we bumped heads at first, and she basically, no, they did. She said he can be a jerk. He can be a jerk, and almost, you know, kind of condescending, like that's not gonna be good. But I do believe Kirsten will give it back to him.
Oh yeah, she's not gonna take it.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna be going back and forth. I'm not gonna say they're not gonna be Zach and Kayla, but she ain't gonna sit there and take it.
Nah.
But
I do want to say one thing. When they talked about her being assertive and him being labeled, was that this episode? When they had the conversation about being assertive, I like that. I like being able, like them being able to conversate with each other and kind of define, okay, I like you doing this, I don't like this, I like this, and I don't like that. I just wish Mitch would Mitch so much. You know, he's kind of laid, but you can tell he's kind of laid back, but because he's probably trying to fill out the room and stuff like that. But just really figuring out how she is, that seems like he's paying attention to the way she's moving, because we didn't see that in the episode, but you know, them to talk about it and he kind of figuring out that stuff. I do appreciate things like that with them. I didn't want to be all negative with them, but it's pretty much a lot of bad more than good. But that was good, I think.
But nah, you're right, man. Another good thing to do with that is at least he's trying to compromise. He's trying to go with the flow, but you don't know if he's just giving in to give in, or will he's doing that to throw it back ammunition later. Like, hey, I did wear the hubby shirt, right?
Mhm.
I did do what you asked me to do, so I need you to do what I need to do. Like I said, y'all talk about the popper situation, man. Pop that bad boy in the trash can. Let the lady celebrate, right? If she wants to celebrate, let her celebrate. I don't think he's gonna be controlling. I think he's gonna try to be controlling a little bit, especially with the eco-friendly stuff and the vegan stuff, you're driving your car too much type deal. What kind of gas you put into it? I got this function. I think he's gonna be try to be controlling. And I think she may get along with it for a little bit initially until it becomes annoying. And then when it becomes annoying, she's gonna be like, you know what? That's it. All right. That's it.
Artieka said Mitch seems like he did Married at First Sight
Just to say he got married.
to say he got married, like a bucket list item.
So he could be like, I'm 45 and I'm divorced.
So he can be like he's 45 and he's divorced. It's crazy.
But you know what? I see
Just to
that.
put something on his resume.
But you know, I see that because I think on one of the pre-shows, or this was like he said, this was his last option, right? He couldn't do it the traditional way because he couldn't get a date, or nobody wanted to be with him or stay with him long enough, and it seemed like this is his last ditch effort, right? I've been Uncle Mitch to my nieces, and they probably the nieces are probably asking why you ain't married, why you ain't got no kids, right? Why you always taking care of us? And so he's like, let me do this. Let me try to get a woman. And this is the only way that he can get somebody that he don't run off, at least for 8 weeks.
Well, I don't even know. He didn't say it like he necessarily ran them off. Remember, he kind of like said he had commitment issues. So why do you get into something where it requires your commitment? All of a sudden, you're going to be committed? Nah.
That contract commits you.
Yeah, so
that contract commits you for at least 8 weeks. So he ain't trying to pay no money, so he's committed because he's in contract.
Right, but I'm like, he went into it with the wrong mindset. He said he hasn't had a relationship that's more than 2 or 3 years. Ain't 40 something?
Yeah, he said his relationships don't last long. Your relationship wouldn't last long too. They keep taking you. You keep riding the e-bike.
He should just got a dog and been happy, man, and kept it pushing. But I do say this is like, when you think about it, ideally he's an ideal candidate for somebody at Married at First Sight. He just has to be a lot more flexible with his spouse. He can't be so one-sided. We all know we've been married for a while now. Especially you guys been married for a very long time, so you guys know it takes a lot of bending and moving, to make this thing work. And so he's so stuck on one way that's gonna hurt, So I don't know. That's all I got to say about Mitch and Kirsten.
It's not much there. I think it's gonna see. Time will tell if they can work it out or not. Again, AJ and Stephanie made it, and I didn't think they were gonna make it. Mm-hmm. And this is what this couple reminds me of: AJ and Stephanie from Philadelphia. So let's go to my man, my Dungeons and Dragons buddy, Miguel and Lindy. Oh man, you want to start with Miguel and Lindy? I'll let you start.
I don't know. Like, I'm watching them, but I still can't really get a good feel of them. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to take a couple of more episodes for me to really get a feel of them. Where I'm at with them is her family. Like, I just love how the brother went in. I just love. He was like, "This is what I expected, for my sister's husband. And what about this?" And I was like, "Just get into it, then."
But it shows me that Lindy don't talk to her family or don't talk to her brother, because she told us she was loose, that she had one night stands. And she was sleeping when she got out of the 7-Day Adventist, that she was sleeping around, right? So she was doing all this stuff. So her brother's talking about, well, when my sister sleep with somebody, this, and this. Bruh, your sister slept with a whole bunch of people, and they weren't talking about Jesus when they were sleeping with her. I'm just be honest. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have Bible study, and they wouldn't praying, they wouldn't doing all this. You expect the husband to be at a different level. Bro, Miguel already told you, I ain't about that organized religion. I'm not about that. He didn't say he wasn't religious or he didn't believe in God. He believed in higher powers, multiple higher powers, but he wasn't about your religion. So you keep bringing the religious stuff up, and he's not feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
And your sister's telling Miguel that she ain't that religious anymore.
But apparently her family is holding out hope that she'll come back to it, but that's not going to change their conviction. They like, that might be what she doing, but I'm saying I still feel it's best that it's like this. She don't know what she doing. She out there sowing her royal oats. That's just I got the sense. So listen to me, you type of thing. That's what I get. It's like they know what she's doing, but they're thinking she'll come to her senses.
She reminds me of Henry from New Orleans. Everything on this season will be her first. This is my first dance. This will be my first my first wedding, my first relationship, my first everything. Everything is gonna be her first.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna have to teach and move. He might be a little Jose, might be a little Jose-ish, the way he did with Rachel. But I tell you one thing, he needs to keep his sister away from their relationship. Because the sister will go in. Because she said she's protecting her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And she had that girl crying. That girl was in tears about the student loan debt. She felt bad. They need to keep family away from their marriage, and I think they might be okay. And his Dungeon and Dragon family likes her more.
Oh, we ain't got to that yet.
His Dungeon and Dragon family likes her more than him. But August Love Story.
All right, so we like Lindy and not Mitch, Miguel. They're an interesting couple. I like to see them succeed. I think they have the best shot. Because they both have their own like groove and like quirkiness, I think the brother wasted his opportunity to get to know it. Like, I don't know the point of that conversation. Saying like talking about sex is a conversation that they wouldn't have with, like, I wouldn't have a sex conversation with her brother. Or her sister, or her mom. Like, they obviously know what we're doing. We got 2 kids, but that's as far as the conversation goes. He brought that up, and I'm like, but they married though. The rule is not to have sex before you married. Like, stay out their bedroom. And then it's the second day. Also with this sister, like, she's sitting up there talking about the student loan debt. I'm like, it's 2022. 9 times out of 10, the people at the table, if it's 10 people at the table, 9 of them got student loan debt in some shape, form, or fashion. That's just the way of the world. And that's not a conversation that's just going to come up in everyday conversation, especially trying to get to know somebody. So I feel like they wasted that whole conversation talking about that stuff. It's the weirdest thing, that conversation, when people are like asking things that they know they never would really ask on regular, in a regular time or whatnot. So I feel like that was wasted. But then I also feel like Miguel is seeing the side of Lindy that he don't like, when she like gets nervous and she talks so much, just because it was like she couldn't find her pajamas. And she started tripping, and that man came in there, you all right? Like, you good? Okay, I'm gonna go use the other bathroom, man. But come on, but and then she just kept talking about, I don't know, I zoned out when she started talking about her blood pressure and stuff, right?
It was a blood sugar.
It was a blood sugar and stuff traveling on the plane. I was like, man, this is too much. And then what else happened? I think that's all I got. What'd you got?
The sibling dynamic between them is just going to not do well for them at all. Like, her sister really his sister came at her like she was a gold digger. And I'm like, she don't know what he has at all. Like, they've known each other for like less than 48 hours at this point. And you're like, he's not going to want to take care of you. And it's like, did she ask him to do that? Because all I thought she said was, what should I know about your brother? And then her brother, I'm like, is he like in the lineup to be a bishop or something? Because he just went straight religious route. And I mean, it's not to say that that's negative or positive, but like Tommy said, if we're saying you shouldn't have sex before marriage and they're married, why they're married, why are you in their business? Like, get out of their bed. They're not even talking about sex like that. So it's weird. And I'm trying to give Lindy a pass on her anxiousness. But she just rambles. Like, even at the bachelorette party, she was rambling, and the girls were just like, okay. And then when she got to the actual wedding, I get it. There's a lot of nerves and jitters that day. And then on top of the wedding nerves and jitters, I'm about to spend the night with this person that I don't know for the first time. And I had planned to wear these pajamas, can't find them, freaking out a little bit. But then this whole blood sugar when traveling situation, I was like, it kind of reminds me of this podcast interview that Tommy and I just recently watched with Kevin Hart. And the guy like went around the world to ask a question, and he's like, you couldn't have come up with a better line of action to ask me that question. And it just,
he was trying to set up a joke on that.
Yeah, he was trying to set up a joke, but she was trying to like set up the whole thing with the travel is like this and it's this and it's that. And it's like, you could have just said, hey, I have low blood sugar at times and I just need to keep a snack on me. And it could have been solved a lot easier. But I don't know. It's just, I want them to work out because they're like the ones that are at least out of their own way with the are you attractive? Do I like you part of it? Outside of Stacia and Nate. Like, they're the ones that are like looking at each other like, okay, I really do like the person that I see. But Miguel looks like he just want to tell her shut up already.
Hush. Just hush.
Is there something I can help you with? Because that's as far as he's gotten. But that's all I have for them.
That was funny.
Yeah. How about Miguel shooting a shot and getting shot down already? He's like, yo, Miguel said, I tried to touch her, try to feel it. She was like, nope. Like, we're not having anything. We're not having anything. So when she pushed up on it, looked like he was ready. Miguel was ready to go. He was ready to go, and she had to pull him back a little bit. And that's one of the things I thought was key too. When she said, he said, oh, I already tried to push up. She said no, and then Miguel makes it seem like he's the lady man because he said he's the one to end all the relationships. Like, oh, I was in many relationships, but I'm the one that leave them. They don't leave me. I'm like, what are you trying to say, bruh?
In your cosplay?
In your cosplay outfit, that all the girls come and again, what? And nothing wrong with cosplay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong. But he can't let Dungeons and Dragons be more important than his wife.
I'm not letting no dude in Dungeons and Dragons costume dump me. I'm not.
But not even that. But you know what I thought was key though, because even when they first was talking, she downplayed the fact that she was a doctor. I didn't like that. Mm-hmm. She you're a doctor, and she was like she downplayed the fact that she didn't say I'm a doctor also, which means to me seemed like she wants to take, I don't want to say the word submissive role because that's a whole big thing, but she downplayed her credentials until her friends were like, oh, she's a doctor, like, hey, be proud of who you are and be proud of where you came from. I think she does have a little bit of confidence issue, and her and Miguel's gonna have to work with that, and she can't give in to everything he says because that will be a difficult relationship if she gives in to everything. She has to kind of be like, nah, I don't think so. We already see she has some when it came to the sex issue that she's like, nah, we can't do that. So she has to be very very cautious how to deal with him because I think his ego bruises easily. The way his sister would try to protect him, I think his ego is very fragile, and that she could break his ego by saying something to him in the wrong type of way.
And going back to his cosplay thing, like, I remember Tommy has a friend that had us go to like Dragon Con one time. And I'm like, that's a very specific group of people. I'm surprised that he's not dating well in that very specific group, because that is a definitely there is somebody for everybody group of people. Like we went with a couple of friends, and it was just like a whole different world to be in. Like I felt out of place because all I had on was a Batman t-shirt, because everybody else was like in full like costume. But it was just like, yeah, Darth Vader was there. Like it was just people everywhere, and it was it was a fun time. But it was more so like, this is your tribe, these are your people, and it's just strange that he wasn't doing things right, Jennifer. That's where we went. We were at the one in Atlanta, so it was just like, it was so interesting to like see, but it's also interesting that he's not dating well in that group.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they're really big. I have a lot of friends who go, and I haven't been to a Comic-Con in a long time. But when I do go, I don't dress up. But if it's wrestling related,
I was about to say, but y'all dress up for wrestling.
If it's wrestling related, that's a different community as well, and that's been tied into the Comic-Con. I do have my belts and things that we walk around with and do. So it's kind of like cosplay. That is a great community. So I've been to some.
Glenn over there painting his face.
Listen, they don't paint their face, but I wish we could flash a picture. Like they had their championship belts. Like it's 3 or 4 of them, and between the 3 or 4 of them, it's like 16 belts. To the point where the kids stop, like, "Oh my God, who are you? Oh wow!"
It is a good community, so I'm not knocking the community, but I understand that there's a point in time when you're in relationships, you have to take yourself out of that community and focus on your wife for 8 weeks. And I think that may be different for him, because when they talked to him earlier, he's like, well, hopefully she likes this, and hopefully she'll let me do this, that, and the other. And he's gonna have to balance his time between cosplay and adult play, right? And so you want to do more adult play than anything else. My sister-in-law said she was witness. We ain't asked you to testify. Anyway, so you guys, he needs to balance between the two, and she needs to find life outside of Miguel and don't be so.
And she need to calm down. I'm like Artieka. I would have just rather her say, I have a problem with hypoglycemia, and so I gotta pack snacks. She went, as my grandma would say, round and round the whirly wiggle waggle. Ain't nobody asked you all that. Nobody asked you all that. She told this whole story because I could feel my blood sugars dropping, and I gotta make sure I have snacks. And he was like,
"Yo, I don't know. I'm gonna ask Tommy this. Tommy, you're a good man. I'm gonna ask. Look, I know me. It was at night. She looked for her pajamas for 35 minutes. I'd have been asleep. I'd have been in that bed asleep.
Yeah, I would have to. I'd have probably like 10, 15 minutes in. You good? All right.
This is Mr. If I don't have anything to do, I'm going to sleep. Like, so I don't even know if he would have made it to the 10, 15 minute mark. He would have been like 5 to 7. Oh, you not out yet? Wake me up when you come. I'd
have woke up when she came into the room, though.
that truth be told, that might have been our first argument. Like, yo, do you really? It's 35 minutes. Do you still looking for those pajamas? They're not there.
Give it up.
They're not there. Just give it up. It's okay. We go get another pair. Hey, I got some shorts. I got a t-shirt. They're not better yet. You can just sleep in your bra, whatever. But I wouldn't let it go 35 minutes. Like, nah, this is done deal. That was too much. Too much. But that's all about them. I hope then we'll get predictions at the end. But
I'm like Artieka. I think the biggest thing with them is going to be her rambling and her anxiousness, and then making sure to keep those siblings on a leash.
Yeah. I think that's the key too. Keep the family at bay. Well, let's get to talking about siblings. Let's get to this couple. Justin and Alexis. Talk about siblings. Look, Justin's brother went in at the beginning. He's like, you ain't ready for this. This ain't what you want. We see what happened to you last time. Bro wasn't playing. And Justin got a little upset. I'll let you guys go on Justin and Alexis because I got a lot. I don't want to offend anybody when I talk about Justin and Alexis. I got some things for bro.
I am interested to know what it is that made his brother have all those reservations about him specifically getting married. Because if I remember correctly, he said that he tried to marry this girl when he was like 23 and he's 33 now. So you should definitely be a different person 10 years later from that situation. Um I'm still also, and this has absolutely nothing to do with how people feel, but I'm still also interested to know these sibling dynamics because him and his brother don't have the same mom and dad. So where's the daddy and what does he look like?
Mm-hmm.
Because Justin, okay, the mama, I think her name was Sharon. Sharon looks like she could be the brother's mama, but Justin is the odd man out. And it's not just because of height, it's also facial features. So I'm interested to know what happened there. How did he end up living with his brother at 14? And just specifically what happened. Like I need that backstory. Um, but his brother definitely had some reservations, and I mean it's okay to have the reservations about getting married because I mean you marrying somebody you don't know, or even just getting married. But his brother went off like the deep end. Like, nope, not gonna happen. This is stupid. Like he and then started crying at the wedding. So I'm like, I don't know. We got a lot of emotions going on with him and his folks.
Oh, it's my turn.
You can go ahead.
I think Justin's trying too hard, like to impress this girl, and she's liking it, but she don't like it because it's like you can tell that he's trying to be way too accommodating for her in the beginning. Like I feel like the time now is just to really take the opportunity for a person to get to know you, truly get to know you, flaws and all. But you want to put on the best face that you can. I just feel like he's being way too accommodating for her. I also feel like she's trying to convince herself that she likes him or that he's, the right choice. It's a lot of things that's corny that he does and talks about and stuff like that that you know you wouldn't think people would do, you know, or it's like you wouldn't see that in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just I'm interested to see how their dynamic grows and see how they are able to actually start to like each other. Because I think he's head over heels, and I think that's going to be an issue that he's so head over heels for her already. Finding out that they matched on Hinge and then watching the after party to figure out like he was a nuisance to her basically um, on Hinge, and that's why they didn't go anywhere with it. And now that they're married, she kind of like trying it, but I just feel like he's gonna try too hard, and that's gonna push her away. So
She's basically looked at the past season and was like, I'm not gonna act like that girl.
yeah,
Like that's pretty much what it is. Like, all right, so she didn't like who she got matched with. I'm going to at least make it seem like looks don't matter or whatever doesn't matter.
yeah,
Um, but she also got to stop telling everybody their business because, like, we're dancing at the wedding and you turn around and tell your people that I'm celibate.
yeah, but
I just I don't get like why are we doing this at the wedding? And then we did it again in front of all of the couples, even though he had already like told the guys that same thing. It's just like, why we gotta be in everybody's business like this? Like we cannot do that. It's okay to not share with your sisters and your friends that he hasn't had sex. Like it's okay.
and it's not a bad thing that he hadn't had sex. He's like, if you look at the rules, like he shouldn't be out here just smashing anything that walks. There's diseases and pregnancy that you can get into that you don't want.
That's
So
true.
it's like it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just it's just a decision. It's a very mature decision to make to become celibate or and decide not to have sex. But I don't know, man. I just feel like he's like needs to calm down a little bit and be like in the moment and not try to be this all people pleasing person, because like it's not gonna work that way. You're gonna have to put your foot down at some point. What's wrong, man? That's it.
And I think that's what his brother is concerned about. That, you know, Justin's gonna go all in and he's gonna get his feelings hurt, because he got his feelings hurt. And apparently, like, you know, when the engagement didn't work, it really took him to a dark place. So, and I understand it's married at first sight, and I'm gung ho about it, but I want to tell him, slow down, player. Slow down, player. Just a little bit too much, too fast. And yeah, I was disturbed. She turned around. He's celibate, y'all. That's like Keith at the wedding after his mom told him about Iris going, hey, she a virgin. Like, why are you broadcasting that? And I'm like, you know, ain't nothing.
Don't tell her no secrets, dog. That would be my first thought. Don't tell her after she yelled that out. Like, I ain't telling her nothing else. She would be like, dang, he ain't sharing no information. Like, we don't know nothing about Glenn on this season of Married at First Sight, because she wouldn't get nothing.
And that's one of the first things she said to the mom when they went to brunch. You know, how was last night? He was like, well, he's still celibate. Don't worry about that. I didn't give him none. You know, yeah. I'm like, calm down. But just to backtrack a little, Artieka, I said the same thing. Now, he threw a monkey wrench. Justin threw a monkey wrench in when he said that was his uncle in the wedding in the wheelchair, and he's 6'11". 6'11". I want to know what the daddy looks like. They are not full siblings, and they're not full siblings. Their noses are different, like way different noses and lips and face structure. I'm just like, somebody lying. Somebody lied.
Oh man, I think Justin's. Y'all mentioned in the chat. I think he's very immature. If you look at it, he's people pleasing. Even the way he's dancing, the way he's acting, the way he's doing a little too much. He's telling the girl that he loved her when he danced with her already. Well, I think I'm in love with you. I like you. I think she is trying to be nice. I think she likes the attention that he's giving her. I think she likes the attention that he's giving her, and she likes that aspect of it. And I think she might just be there. I ain't gonna say for the check, but she might be there for the check, right? Because if you swipe left on this person 3 times, right, and he was in your DMs and you blocked him from your DMs and he was doing too much, and you see that person walk down the aisle, and you still she's being too nice to him for the person that you swipe left on and put in the DM. Now, of course, she said, I'm giving it a chance. I might be trusting the experts. I want the experts. I want to listen to what the experts say. There was something that she didn't like about him, right? Either his looks or his personality to make her swipe left 4 months earlier. So now she has to figure out, what is it that I do like about him, or was I just, because I'm gonna just say it had to be the looks, right? Because if you, I've been on a dating site, but if you see somebody, to me, I think the first thing you see on a dating site will be their looks or their appearance, in the picture, right? And so it'll be like, okay, I don't like him, swipe left, and then, we didn't match. So that means he got in your DMs. So that means y'all had a conversation. You had a conversation somewhere so he can get into your DMs. And so something in that conversation you didn't like, or somebody said, so somebody's not telling the full truth here in their situation. I think she's trying to like him. The celibacy thing, I think she wants to try it, but then she might think it's whack. And she's not 100% sure. Because if you looked at Justin, he was really touchy-feely. Like, if she would have told him, you can get it tonight, he was ready to go. So she's playing it like, she playing it like it's his fault that he's still celibate. Nah, he's like, yo, I'm ready. If you with it, I'm with it.
No, absolutely.
She just ain't with it right now. So she's not with it, but she's playing it as a joke or a game. But it's not, and truth be told, she might be a little scared. I ain't trying to be out here. He is about 6'7", 6'8", and he always saw people talking about his meat. She might be scared. she might want to keep him celibate. You know what I'm saying? She may not. Let's be honest. She may not be ready for that. I'm just saying. So she don't know.
I don't know. I think she really meant it when she was like, at first, with the physical, she wasn't attracted, but I think she really meant it as the more I talk to him, I like him more. But I don't think the getting to know him is, hopefully it'll eliminate the looks excuse, that attraction. But I don't know. But I really think she meant that. I was like, he's not that bad. He's not that bad, but he still ain't my type. But
I think his talking charms her, and it charms her a little bit. One thing I do worry about is everybody saying my man is soft. Well, sorry, I don't.
Sensitive.
They said sensitive. I don't want to say soft, right? That he's very sensitive, and to me, she seemed like a woman that she could use his sensitivity against him. Mm-hmm. That later on, his sensitivity will become an issue where she's using it against him to manipulate him or get whatever she wants in the relationship. So that's one of the things there. And her friends and family said she rough. She hard. Look at her sisters. What's the sisters off of the Proud Family?
The Gross sisters.
They look like the Gross sisters, man. They rolled up like they rolled up like the Gross sisters. Like, you don't want to mess with this one. You don't want to mess with this one. They rolled up on dude like, yo, we better take your lunch buddy better take your stuff. They rolled up like the Gross sisters and like, yo, don't and wouldn't share any information. That, to me, that was a red flag right there, because look, he asked, what is it about your sister you don't like, or what's some red flags? And his sisters was mom was the word, right? Which means if she ever does anything wrong, he can never get nothing from her family. They're not gonna snitch. They're not gonna talk on her, but they will come after him. You better watch his back. Gross sisters will get you.
And that's one of the things that I have. That's why I have an issue with the conversation with talking with the family, like, because that conversation there is supposed to be to get to know the person that they have just has just become a family member. So if it's the point is to get to know the person, why are you sitting up here trying to grill this person like this person has experience with your person? Like, they're basically y'all learning of this person at the same time. So why your first instinct or your first interaction with this person is to be in a grilling matter? That turns you off to a person, one. And then two, it's like, well, I don't really want to deal with this person because this person don't really care about who I am as a person. If I ask a question they can't answer, I can understand, like, if these people been dating for a while and you've been hearing things about them, and then like this is your first time seeing this person and being in the same room with this person, and you're able to then talk to them and kind of, get to know them that way. But like, they just met each other yesterday or the day before. So it don't make sense to even be mean to a person because, quote unquote, technically this person is still a stranger to your person, your family member. So I always think that's just when people do that, they're like really wasting their time, with it. I had something else to say about Justin, but I forgot. Yeah, I think he do talk about his meat too much, man. Like, if I was him, I'd just be like, hey, what you like, have the conversation with her about it. But like, yeah, it's been too many times throughout this whole 4 episodes that he done brought up his meat. So
hold on, I want to say this, but like you were saying, Tommy, in this brunch, this meet with the friends and family, I don't know my spouse. You're supposed to help me get to know them. I'm not telling you to air their dirty laundry, but give them something. Give him something, because he's like, he got to start somewhere. They was like, I ain't telling you nothing. They, her favorite color, figure it out yourself. What she like to eat, figure that out yourself. They could have gave him that. Now, you ain't got to say, like Michaela's family, she Hurricane K. Just say, like, I ain't got no dirt for you, but what I can say is blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna give you no dirt on my sister, but I will tell you she likes this, she don't like that.
Yeah, well, it seemed to me, even back to Justin, his celibacy, I want to know why he's celibate, right? He never really said why.
He basically said, I didn't want to add to my body count anymore. Okay.
So he didn't add to his body
count.
And
I understand that.
Oh, I totally understand. Not want to add to your body count. I'm not knocking bro for adding to his body count. But again, And so now he has to make a statement with her. Do I want to? Because I don't know, but me just watching it, it seemed like he has all the sexual tension, right? All the sexual energy. He gave it to her on the dance floor. When he took the garter off, then he the one that took his teeth all the way up her dress and pulled it down. So he's giving all the sexual energy, and she's just not giving any of that back. Mm-hmm. So not giving it. Well, she did say if he could get it. I think last episode she said if he can get it, I'm down with it. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll see with Justin and Alexis, but I think she's kind of playing him a little bit though. I think she might be playing my brother.
We'll see.
Just a little bit.
We'll see.
Just a little bit. Who's next?
Stacia and Nate.
Stacia and Nate. The potential power couple, as some say. We can August love story. Your thoughts on the Stacia and Nate?
Man, they gave us a little softcore porn at the end in that shower scene. I was like, goodness, man, this ain't appropriate to be watching with kids, man. I like them as a couple. I like how they were communicating with each other. That first night, like they talking about, hey, I have a color, what is it called, colorism. Like I have light skin issues.
Light skin issues,
right? I like that having like that's a very mature conversation to have the first night that you meet somebody, and you can sit up and talk to. Like I remember me and Artieka getting together and just staying up all night talking to each other. Look, those are the things you want to see, and of course there's sexual tension. Both of these are pretty people, you know. So it's sexual tension there, but it's like nobody's forcing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it was forced upon us, you know, from what they showed us on the episode. They're just really mature about the things that they do and what they did, you know, and I like that. Just the only thing that bothered me was that sex scene. It's like you have so many questions with that. Like I don't mind it, but it's like, what if I was watching this with me? The only thing I'm thinking about is if Lily was sitting here watching this with me, like I would have had to cover her eyes or something. I would have had to do something extra, and it's like
on at 10 p.m. That was the ending, so that was like
it was. But I mean, you know, Lily stays up late, but you know, just thinking about like you having a kid, it reminded me of when I was a child, and you know, you have the TVs with the wavy lines and couldn't get the channel, but you could kind of see it every now and again, like that type of stuff. And it's like, man, what is going on here? You know, but I mean, after that, I was like, there's no way he didn't smash after that. So it's interesting to see going forward how their relationship works and if they're mature enough to like actually have a sexual relationship while getting to know each other. So
couple of things about them. Number one, Megan's gotta go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Megan trying to get that threesome going.
I didn't. But Megan's gotta go. I do think that I'm interested in hearing what is his contribution to the power of the power couple, because he says he's a day trader, but like everybody can be a day trader. Are you successful doing it? Because what he talked about was hustling, like knockoff stuff, and then I had to stop doing it or I was going to get in trouble. That's not necessarily a power couple. That's like saying the neighborhood drug dealer could be a power couple with somebody because he's doing something illegal. But I think as far as chemistry is concerned, they've got that with each other. I am also interested, and I know that they're never going to get into it on the show, but I am interested to know, like, does Married at First Sight have some type of clause for properties and money and things like that you acquired before the relationship?
Yeah, because they talked about a post-nup.
Yeah, right? Her mom brought up the post-nup, and she was like, if he doesn't agree to it, then we're not staying together. And I mean, I get that, because 8 weeks, that's not the manner to which you're accustomed to, because that's the line they like to use indoors. But I'm not sure what that means as far as their relationship is concerned, for the things that she owns. And then I like to also get a little glimpse into what she owns and how she was able to purchase all these things by 37. Like, did you have a rich uncle? Did a grandmama die and leave you $100,000, $200,000 in, a life insurance plan? Like, I'm interested in that, because we never really get into how people make their money or anything like that. And it's always interesting to me to know, just to see how that happened. But I hope for the best for them, but I am definitely interested in his financial contribution to the success of the relationship, and how she's going to get Megan out of his bed, because I believe Megan has been in his bed.
We do, I do too. I think that's how they started their friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, Jennifer. They do sign prenups. I think we learned that with Chris and Paige. I looked that up. They signed prenups before the show. Stacia, she mentioned that she was an accountant, but then she does real estate on the side. I think when her and Nate first talked, that she was like, I bought my first house. She flipped the house, and then she got enough money, got 2 houses, and flipped the houses. So she's flipping houses, and plus she's an accountant, and so she's been doing that. My issue with Nate comes in. If you want to find out about Nate and his day trading, it is a YouTube channel. I found it. I checked it out. He has a YouTube channel on day trading. I might put the link in the description later, but he talks about it. Again, day trading is successful, but how sustainable is that market, right? How sustainable is that? How sustainable is that? And I don't want to be hypocritical, because we gave my man, what's his name, Steve, a pass last season, right? Gave Steve a pass, and I don't want to be hard on the brother. And people say, "Oh, you gave Steve a pass, and he wasn't a brother, and you ain't giving, you're not giving Nate a pass." But Nate also said he was in sales. Go back to one of the previous episodes. He said he was in sales, but he also day trades, but he can work from home. So he has a job per se, and day trading is something else that he does. So he has potential there. My issue is, one is Megan, his friends. Megan is a big issue. I think she really likes Nate, and this marriage situation kind of threw a monkey wrench in her plans, because that she may try to get with him a little bit later. I think him and Stacia, they're having great conversation, and they're moving at a good pace, slowly. One thing that does bother me is the fact of him saying he's a freak in the sheets. All right, and to being a freak in the sheets, are you willing to slow it down for your wife? Are you willing to slow it down for her? Because she's not. She said she hasn't been in that many relationships. I think she talked about she was kind of celibate for a while also. So now you're coming in with guns a-blazing, and the honeymoon is going to be fine. I think the honeymoon situation is going to be fine. I think all of it happens when they get back to San Diego, and they got to go do the day-to-day. Because she mentioned, we're going to be around each other 24/7, and the posting up may be an issue. He may not want to sign it. But she said on after party that if he doesn't sign it, it's a deal breaker. Like, we can go ahead and say no now. That it is done. And I think what stuck with me with Stacia, that's been real key, in her vignettes, I said this on our review, is that she said, "Look, I want a man, I don't need a man." Mm-hmm. I think that was the key with me when she said, "I want a man, I don't need a man." It's something that I want, but I don't need you, bruh.
Right?
Because I'm good by myself. I'm successful by myself. I would like to have you, and I want somebody in my life, but I don't need you. And that's what he has to realize. Hey, she don't need me, but what kind of value can I add to her life? What kind of value can I add to this relationship that she doesn't already have? And if he can learn that, it may work out, but he can't come in there like he's the boss, because she's already a boss, and he ain't gonna match what she has. I don't think right now.
The one thing I was going to say is you would have to be the wackest, lamest person ever to come on Married at First Sight and try to come out of the divorce if y'all don't work out with some money. You got to be like, what? Off of some 8 weeks that you want some money? I mean, so the posting up, I think that's a good idea. But I mean, that would like ruin the show. You know what I mean? And it got real close. Like, bro, you put con artists on here. They came on Married at First Sight to come out to get their spouse's money. You have to be the wackiest joker ever. I mean, I do understand the concern. Like we talked about when Miguel's sister said the same thing with Priscilla. Priscilla said the same thing. That's Miguel's sister. So, I mean, I understand. But I'd be like, you have to be the wackiest. I think the closest person that probably came to that was Matt and Amber. And I don't even know if he wanted to get something out of it, but he acted like he wanted to just not give her a divorce. Get that lady a divorce. For the Megan situation, I automatically saw Stacia like, say what? When she started getting teary-eyed, she was like, what is that? Where that coming from? For your friend? For your friend? No, we're gonna have to set some boundaries. Because I don't think you're gonna be hanging out with her too much. I can tell you that right now.
Not without me.
Nah, she was like, Stacia sniffed it. She was like, something ain't right there. Either yes, they did sleep together, or it could be a matter of like Megan was head over heels for him, and he was like, nah, we're good as friends, and she's still holding out hope or something. But yeah. And then I think we talked about this with Jasmina. I'm kind of leery about the beautiful people that come on Married at First Sight. Like, why are you here then? You know, good looking, successful. I understand Stacia probably more than Nate, because when you're a boss lady, it intimidates men. And it's probably hard to get a guy, the firefighter, the trash man, he ain't gonna talk to you, you know. And even some of the ones that operate in the realms where you are, they I'm sure they're intimidated by a boss lady, you know. So I understand that, but you know, we felt the same thing. Jasmine, everybody's like, you know, Jasmina's so pretty, you know. It's like, okay, why are you on Married at First Sight? It's something there for why you can't get and keep somebody.
Her mom said
and
it.
I'm talking about for Nate, though.
Oh, well, for Nate.
I'm talking for, you know, for Nate, and not just her, but I'm saying Nate too, because they're good looking. I said this, and I used the same phrase as you, Tommy. It was soft porn. I was like, good gosh, my husband tried to convince me they had clothes on. I was like, nah. No,
because I saw bro orange shorts. I saw his orange shorts. Remember, Woody and Money had.
But then he asked to take a shower to like get clean. You ain't getting clean in those shorts.
Yo,
he asked to take a shower. Not can we just get in the shower? He said, let's take a shower together.
They forgot the cameraman was there. Because the cameraman got paid that day because he made sure he got the feet, he went to the legs, and the editing guy got all that on the floor, editing floor. Because the cameraman seemed like he was right up in there, like, hold on, this gonna make good for TV. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those type things, and it was there, right? And I'm with Tommy. If Brian ain't getting none after that, there's a problem. There's a problem.
She ain't give him none.
I guarantee you.
He tried it. I think he tried it. She didn't give it to him. She didn't give it to him.
Okay.
There's no way he didn't get in it. Like, he got some. Because he was like, nah, man, he got some that night. I was like,
there's nowhere else to go after that.
Right. Like, we basically undid it in the shower. So, you know, we might as well finish. You know. Everything all warmed up and everything now, so it's like, let's go.
Like, what do you do after that if you don't have sex? Do we go?
You're mad. You're mad after that if you don't have sex. Like,
I mean, like, do we go to the buffet?
Well, I don't know.
Like what do we do direct? We order room service? Like, what do we do after that?
I don't know. We drink, man. I don't know. Like, that's like, you're mad if nothing happened after that. He was mad. Like, because it was way too much going on at one time. Her leg was cocked on his, you know, they basically was like burning clothes with no clothes on.
Well, they said they had on swimsuits.
Who had on swimsuits?
I was about to say that. Yeah, I saw the comments saying they had on a swimsuit. They had on swimsuits.
I saw the bottom of the party. I want to know what type of swimsuit she had on because I saw the bottom of her butt.
Whatever it wasn't a lot. So I mean, they might as well been meat to meat. So
To me,
Right. I mean, he was. I mean, he had,
me to me.
he had that whole butt cheek in it. He had the whole butt cheek in his hand. So if she had a swimsuit on, it was a piece of floss.
It was definitely little.
It was little because he had cut that leg, and he was ready to go.
I think they might have did. I think they might have did something. I don't think they had sex. I mean, there are hands.
And other things.
It's other things. So I think she probably did not. I hate to excuse the pun. I don't think she bended on that.
she might have bended. You never know.
I don't think she bent on that. She meant she wasn't good.
But there are a couple. If things can line up, they could be the fun couple of the season.
Mm-hmm.
If it lines up right, this could be the couple that we're rooting for. If things go into play. Like you can see it because I think Tommy, you said it. The natural chemistry is there.
Oh yeah.
The natural attraction is there. Even though he's a little bit narcissistic, because he said if she wasn't beautiful or she wasn't pretty, I'd have been gone. So he's really big on looks. So they know they had to give him some looks. But again, he has to get past her looks and realize she's intelligent, smart, that he can't compete with where she's at.
Have we not learned this in?
You muted.
I said, haven't we learned this before? Married at First Sight is not the show you go on if you bent on looks. Because they don't care nothing about that. They don't care nothing about that. They trying to match personalities and yeah. So if
I was gonna say I think they did right with her and him because they both of them pretty.
Like
So-
they look like they come out the same tribe as my mama.
Yeah.
that's
Two
the same
pretty
thing Glenn said. That's the same thing Glenn said. He said they kind of look alike. Now that's what I said, but he lucked up in this case. But that shouldn't be the first thing because Married at First Sight, they're gonna give you whatever. They sure gave it to Jamie and Doug. I mean, we could run down the list of people. It's like, well, I ain't really attracted to them, but so
Yeah, but I think they're gonna be the fun couple. Far as romantic wise, I think Mitch and Kirsten. I got it right?
yes,
Yeah,
Kristen.
is the couple. They're gonna be the firework couple. I don't know about Ben and Morgan yet. I don't know anything about them. You haven't really seen too much about them. I think Miguel and Lindy is just gonna get along to get along. That's gonna be one of the boring couples that you have, unless she has some kind of blow up or some kind of anxiety fit. And then Alexis and Justin, I can see she dogging him, but from the clips, it looks like he's gonna be the one trying to control her. So I don't know how that's gonna flow. So, all right, let's ask us preseason picks. Before we know anything else, we let August Love Story go first. Who's gonna stay married? Who's gonna get divorced? Preseason pick.
Morgan and Ben are no. Lindy and Miguel, I think they'll make it to decision day. I think Nate and Stacia will make it to decision day, pending Megan. Alexis and Justin, I keep going back and forth. I think on our review, I said that they wouldn't make it. And I think I might still hold on to that. They're not going to make it. Who is the other couple? Mitch and Kirsten, that's definitely a no, and it's Mitch's fault. Am I missing one?
That's
or is that
fine.
all of them?
I think that's 5.
That's all 5?
You said Miguel and Lindy.
Yeah. I said they would do all right with each other. They would make it to the season though. Nate and Stacia are my yes, and Lindy and Miguel are my yes. And everybody else is a no.
All right. So for me, Nate and Stacia, yeah. Miguel and Lindy, yes. And Alexis and Justin, yes. Mitch and Kristen is a no.
Mm-hmm.
And Morgan and Ben, I'm gonna say what did I say on? I'm gonna say yes, but I think it's a no because he's such a mama's boy. which is nothing wrong with being a mama's boy up to a certain extent. Um, yeah, that's my predictions.
I think me and Tommy on the same lines. Though I'm gonna say those three yeses too. So Miguel and Lindy, Alexis and Justin, and Stacia and Nate. I'm kind of on the fence with Kristen and Mitch, because like you said, I do kind of get the AJ and Stephanie feel, because to me AJ was a jerk, and I was like, she's not gonna put up with that because he was be snippy and stuff, but they still together.
Yeah.
And Ben and Morgan, I'm gonna say no, but for the opposite of what Tommy said, not even so much for him being a mama's boy, but she too independent. She gonna run him all.
I think I agree with your picks. I think Ben and Morgan, I'm gonna say no because I don't know. Maybe because the COVID. I don't like the late starts with COVID. Even though COVID, it didn't work out for anybody. They had the COVID start. We talking about Michaela and Zach. I think Ben is too cheap for her. Not that she wants his money, but I think he's gonna be too cheap for her, and it's not gonna work out. And she's not, because she's gonna be like, "Oh, you cheap? Don't worry about it. I got it myself." He's just gonna feel bad the whole time that she's taking care of her own self. Justin and Alexis, I think they would say yes. If they do say no, it's gonna be her. I don't think it's gonna be him, just for the simple fact that he's been that close before. And the last time bruh moved out of state, I think he went to Colorado. So I don't think he wants to do that again. So I think he'll say yes. I think Nate and Stacia, I think they say yes. Miguel and Lindy, she's just happy to be married, and he's gonna be happy to be married, and she's happy. She's happy to get along, and ain't nothing he can do that gonna make her upset. I don't think they have any arguments. Mitch and Kirsten is the one that I'm on the fence. Kristen is on the one. I'm gonna get her name by next week. Mitch and Kristen is the one. Mitch and Kristen is the one that I think I'm on the fence about. But I do agree with the AJ and Stephanie. So I'm gonna say them, AJ and Stephanie. I think he may change, but I think we're gonna hate him all season though. Mm-hmm. I think we're gonna hate him all season, but she's still gonna be like yes. And I don't know how he says yes, but I think some way they can just be like, yeah, let's try it, or even just say yes and try it for extra 8 weeks or extra time. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about decision day, so that's not decision day. The reunion. I think they might just say yes to say yes. It seemed like that's been a theme on Married at First Sight for the last couple seasons. People just saying yes to say yes. So we'll see. We'll see what it is, just to get those extra checks. But I don't know. Before we get out, let's get some closing thoughts. Thanks for everyone hitting us up in the chat. It's great to be back. We'll be back every Sunday afternoon for 6 p.m. for Married at First Sight with this panel. August Love Story. Closing thoughts.
I am very excited about this season because it seems like there's going to be the right balance of drama in the relationships and actually people like navigating this for what it is. This season feels like it's less people that are here trying to become famous, unlike the past maybe 3 to 4 seasons that we've dealt with. Really interested to see how everybody navigates this and all these outside forces that are going to try to take over these relationships. I know Lindy and Miguel's siblings being one of them, and Megan for Nate and Stacia being another. We are going to actually be going live this season for the members of our YouTube channel. So I think we're doing it. Is it Thursdays or Fridays?
Thursday or Friday.
Okay. We'll let y'all know.
It's supposed to be Thursday.
I think we did the first video on Thursday and the second video on Friday. So we're trying to navigate that with trying not to have a 2-year-old screaming in the background. But definitely we are going to be doing the lives for that, and then our videos are going to come out, and our podcast is actually going to be launching again on Wednesday. Jack and Glenn are actually going to make a cameo, not this week, but they are coming up in like the first 3 episodes. We haven't figured out the exact order of them yet, but I think they're in episode 2. But definitely make sure you guys check that out, and we'll try to remind you again the Sunday before their episode comes out, since we'll be here every Sunday. And that's pretty much all I have. Do you have anything? Okay.
Jack, you got anything?
I don't. I'll let you close it. But I am excited. Y'all heard it. We got a chance to do podcast with August Love Story. So I'm excited. Yay.
Yeah.
We had a good time. We had a good time.
We had a real good time. I had a good time with that. But hey, we thank each and every one of you guys for just taking your Sunday afternoon to spend with us. Keep watching us. Subscribe to August Love Story. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to T. Lisa Ray. Subscribe to even Chloe Johnson. Because just subscribe to everybody that you like on YouTube. Continue to watch us. Continue to send us questions. And we'll look forward to meeting with you and talking to you each and every Sunday here on the Married at First Sight panel. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Peace.
Bye, y'all.